We will have more to say about some changes, some enhancements that Victoria Police will make in terms of the border between metropolitan Melbourne and regional Victoria. That will relate to the percentage of cars that will be pulled over. That will also relate to penalties. We can't have people travelling unnecessarily and unlawfully into regional Victoria from metropolitan Melbourne and potentially taking the virus with them. We know and understand that regional Victorians have done a mighty job, an amazing job to get these numbers down. That allows us to open up, as we've indicated. There'll be a table, I think, provided to each of you at the end of the press conferences to go through some of the finer detail, and if there's any clarification we need to give you, of course we will. But these are really significant steps, and they must be done safely. And if people are travelling into regional Victoria for no good reason, given the amount of virus in metropolitan Melbourne is higher, much higher in fact, then that risks the virus travelling with them. We simply can't have that happen. We'll have more to say about those detailed arrangements tomorrow, and we'll also have more to say about other things that are consequent to this in the days to come. But this is a great day for regional Victoria. I am proud of regional Victorians. I am grateful to regional Victorians. This is a day of hope and optimism. This strategy is working. It has worked in regional Victoria. It is working in metropolitan Melbourne. You can get these numbers down, and you must get these numbers down. If you're going to open up and keep numbers low, there is simply no chance to do that unless you have got them low to start with. Otherwise, we'll be open, yes, but we won't be open for very long. Well done, regional Victoria. This is an amazing effort and a really hopeful and positive day. We're happy to take any questions you have.
What's going to be the protocols for making sure Melburnians don't get into regional Victoria?
Again, there are rules in place now in terms of who can travel. Those rules are not so much the rules themselves changing, but the enforcement will be beefed up even further.
What does that look like?
Well, what it'll mean is that you'll finish up with even more cars being stopped. We'll come back on the exact figure, the exact percentage tomorrow, but it will, I'm sorry to say, it will mean that there will be significant queues, there will be traffic issues, but I think that regional Victorians understand, and regional Victorians, certainly the message I get, is that they very jealously guard the low numbers, the low virus status that regional Victoria enjoys today, and they want to keep it that way. So there will be a time later in the year when we can have that freedom of movement. We can't have it now because it puts at risk everything that is possible in regional Victoria because the numbers are low. We'll also have a bit more to say about the likely fine that you would be issued with if you were to be in regional Victoria from Melbourne without a lawful reason. This is very serious. Very, very serious. We cannot have people making unnecessary and unlawful trips to regional Victoria and potentially taking the virus with them. Regional Victorians have given too much and achieved too much to put that at risk. I simply won't allow that to happen. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that people are stopped, fined and turned around and sent back to the metropolitan address where they should never have really left, Rich.
People who have second properties still can't move to their second
Correct.
properties.
Would you give any consideration to including the Mornington Peninsula in regional Victoria, given there's fewer cases there than, say, Geelong?
We're not changing the boundary. The definition of what's metro and what's regional remains in place. But we'll have more to say about the enforcement activity on approach to the Mornington Peninsula. We'll talk about that tomorrow, because obviously there are many second residences down there. And it's not appropriate as we come up to the school holidays and warmer weather, for instance, for people to be travelling to a second residence. That's simply not on. That puts everything at risk. That's unnecessary movement, it's unlawful movement, and it should not be happening. And we'll have more to say about exactly how we're going to enforce that with particular reference to the Mornington Peninsula. That won't change its status as part of Metro Melbourne, but hopefully it will give people who are permanent residents down in that beautiful part of our state, it'll give them the reassurance to know that only those who live there will be travelling there, and there won't be people going down for day trips and things of that nature.
Is there some hope now then for hospitality in